It's Bondzee Live. Streaming with Bondzee on YouTube. Hi. How are you? Happy Friday. It's Bondzee. Bonzarelli. Greg Bond. Idiot. Stupid. Whatever. Call me whenever you want. I don't care. Doesn't bug me. Doesn't bug me at all. Welcome to the show, though. Hope you're having a great Friday. It's Bondzee Live on Tripping with Bondzee on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network. Yes, we're back to Bondzee Live. Boy, the backlash. Holy. Dean, Lachlan, James, Lindley, my manager, Jason, they all got right upset. They did. I don't know, maybe I should have consulted some people on it before I jumped the gun. Hi, Gwendolyn. Thanks for joining. All the way from, fuck, I always get this wrong. I think you're in Alberta. I think so. What else? Hey, well, I'm here in Palm Desert still. But I swear, I'm leaving by Monday. Have to go to LA. Got some stuff cooking there, and I'm not going to say anything yet. But and also got to spend some time with my son. Got some medication showing up from back home. Excuse me, I ran out. I take blood pressure medication, and it's a whole nonsense thing here. You can't get your pills, the prescription sent from the doctor there to here. I don't know why. It's fucking stupid. Anyways, got my son had to go get my pills. You got to send them here. It's a whole rigmarole. Stupid. Or I go to a doctor here and spend $200 just to get a script for my blood pressure medication so that I don't blow a gasket. Shit, I've been on it for way too long. Anyways, neither here nor there. But and also I got a special gift showing up from our new sponsor. Tonight's show, folks, sponsored by Positive Mics. I was going to say Fine Brewing. Yeah, I'm sure it's a fine brewing company. It's not what its name is, but it's Positive Mics Brewing. They're out of Alberta. Got some amazing, amazing beers. You guys should check it out. Glassy knows all about them. He says they're delicious. Got his fancy new shirt, too. I encourage you to go buy one of these Movember shirts, if there's any left. I don't know if Positive Mike's watching right now or his wonderful wife is, but can let me know if there's any shirts left. You can grab one of those Movember shirts, and at $5 from every shirt will go to, and they're only $25. A great deal. And $5 of that will go to support the great cause that is the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Movember, which I was going to do and stuff. But listen, I got enough to do. Okay. Can't be sitting here trying to, I raise money for my parents for their what do you call it? The Halloween thing for the Ronald McDonald Foundation for Sick Kids Hospital. Cause they did a wonderful job in saving my nephew's life when he was 7 weeks old. And so it's a near and dear cause to my parents' heart. Also, Movember is a big deal. And you guys should donate. All right. So there. And you should also get checked. There they are. Wonderful T-shirts. Positive Mics Brewing. Great mustache on there, too. That's like the old Lanny McDonald mustache. Love that, dude. Anyways, I think there's a few left. Maybe there is. We have shirts left. Find us on Twitter to get one. It says Positive Mic. Awesome. All right, so go grab a few. 1, 2, 3. Buy them all. Christ's sakes. Good cause. It's enough already. All right. Moving on. Tonight's special guest, my boy Reggie's back. God, I love that guy. Just got to spend the night with him a few nights ago. Not the whole night. Just hung out. He was over at the neighbors. We all sat around, had some shits and giggles. Boy, he's a pisser, man. Just Reggie's always on. He's just one of them dudes. It's just always funny. And I respect that. You know, he's got a tough life. 28 years in a police service. That's got to wear on a fella. He's like less than 2 years away from retirement. Anyway, we're going to get into all that. He shot people, too. 3. Shot 3 people. Killed 2. He'll tell you all about it tonight. It's part 3, but part 1 of the police years, if you will. So it's like a part 3/1. All right. He's coming up like 10 minutes, not even. Can't wait for him. Like I said, my parents raised money from Ronald McDonald House. They're up to $1,400. They made $1,600 last year, so they're a little short of their goal. So if you guys can, I forgot so I don't know if you guys have noticed. Maybe you have, maybe you didn't. But we're running on a new platform tonight on Restream. Same one as the entire rest of the people on the Dean Blundell Network. And now we jumped over. I'm not sure I'm going to stay. I was pretty comfortable with where I was on StreamYard. Can't use a green screen here. That kind of pisses me off. I set it all up tonight. It was Put it all, got the tape going out. And had to take it down. Restream doesn't allow green screens or blue screens. What else? There was a couple other things. I'm gonna catch Glassy off guard. Yo, what were the other things we're not thrilled about on the Restream, if you will?
Quite a few video. I like that I could, like all the stuff that you save in one area. I don't know if Rook's watching, but we got to have a conversation if you are, Rook. How you can't manipulate a lot of things. We can't have a ticker at the bottom, so we have the graphic at the bottom.
You like being manipulated
on Twitter, right? Right. Go ahead. What?
I said you like being manipulated, don't you?
Yeah. I'll do anything for liquor.
Look how fucking red his face when I see that. That's awesome. That's Glassy, everybody. Producer Glassy. Love that guy. His face went beet red when I said you like to be manipulated, don't you? And it just went.
In my defense, I was searching for something when you popped me on.
I know. That's why I popped you on. You'll learn, Daniel Song. All right, what else? Oh yeah, so welcome aboard Positive Mike's Brewing. I'm so happy to have you guys, and I encourage you all to go and drink your face off. Drink Positive Mike's Brewing if you're in the Alberta area, and if you're not, he'll send it to you. It's all good. So go get some. All right, where else are we at? Okay, let's get right into it before Reggie gets here and stuff. We did talk about it the other night when we were hanging out because it had just happened the night before. And what I'm talking about is now, Glassy, before I get into this, do not play the video until I drop the viewer discretion thing. But so for those of you who don't know, if you're not big sports fans, 21-year-old kid, great football player. And I'm not even going to mention his name because he's too fucking stupid. And I'm so angry at this guy. Like, I want to smash his face off a wall 500 times. And even then, I might do it 20 more. Just because I'm that angry at this dude. And if you think I'm angry, he didn't kill my kid or anything, but he certainly ruined a family's life. Took a 23-year-old girl's life and her poor dog in their car. 4 a.m, this asshat wasted out of his skull. Double the legal limit, in fact. 256 kilometers. Not even on a highway. City street. 256 kilometers per hour. Think about that for a minute. It's 100 and something miles. I can't remember. It's too fucking fast. It's what it is. I don't care if you're on a highway. The only place you should go that fast is if you're on a track in an F1 car or a NASCAR. Whatever, you stupid idiot. 256 kilometers an hour. Right into the back of this poor, unexpected girl driving home at 4 a.m, or maybe she was on her way to work. I don't know. This video, folks, is disturbing. It's real. It's raw. It's right there. Just happened to be. It is Vegas, so I was going to say, well, how is there so many people around so fast? But it is Vegas. This is senseless. This didn't need to happen. First of all, this asshat plays for the Raiders. Superstar. Flourishing career. Has millions and millions of dollars. This was senseless because I'll tell you, there's 3 reasons. There's a plethora of Ubers in that town 24/7. It's Las Vegas. There's a plethora of taxis in that town 24/7. It's Las Vegas. Also, the kicker, as part of his contract, and every other player that plays for the Las Vegas Raiders has a service available to them, a car service 24/7, 365. Motherfucker gets in his car, 256 kilometers an hour down a Vegas street in his fancy Corvette. Okay, folks, I'm going to play the video. It's disturbing. You've been warned. Go.
Yes. Yeah, there's somebody in the car.
Can we get help? Can you please?
They're getting, they're coming right now.
He is not the process. Hey, look at me.
That's insane. That's insane. It's absolutely insane. That footage is it's real. Holy shit, is it ever real? Folks, our guest is here, and I like to ask him his thoughts on that. Reggie, welcome to the show. How are you, pal?
I'm good, bro. Hold
Can
on.
you hear me, buddy? Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, hold on. Hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can't see. I can't
I
see you.
can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah, you were up on the screen a second ago. I don't know if you hit something or.
Let me see. Hold on a second.
There should be a box, Reggie, to where you blocked off your camera, right beside the right of the microphone, or right of the microphone.
Okay. Right to the right.
Yeah, right beside your microphone button. I saw you on. You were up for a second.
I was. What the hell? I'm pushing it, but nothing's going on.
Why don't you log out and log back in and see if that works? Okay, pal.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So before Reggie gets back, now Reggie's been a police officer for 28 years, folks. I'm sure he has seen crazy shit. Well, I know I can't say he's seen exactly something like that, but I know he's been and seen some absolutely crazy stuff in this world. It's horrifying. The police officers that respond to that, the ambulance attendants, everybody around. You got to see that poor girl's burning alive in that car. And isn't it amazing? How come? Can somebody explain this to me? How come every single time this happens, when somebody's wasted, shouldn't be driving, how come they always live? It's fascinating to me. Fascinating. I mean, I guess they got to live with the guilt. That'd be pretty tough. That guy's life is ruined. 21 years old, millions of dollars. A superstar already in the NFL. Loved by his teammates around the league. Poof. Bye. You're done, bro. You're done. Just like that. Stupid decision. That's so many other opportunities at his fingertips to get a ride home. I almost had a loss of words how stupid he is. 160 miles per hour. Thanks, Wade. It is. It's just it's unbelievable that he would be that stupid and throw it all away just like that. Of a piss poor decision. Wow. I'm blown away. I really am. I'm angry. I'm upset. I can't imagine what, like, his mom and dad. I don't know if they're in the family, but he had a girlfriend. And he's got family and friends. His teammates loved him. It's gone. How do you love a guy that did that? Sure, we all make mistakes, but that's a mistake that's unforgivable. It is. You have options. He had so many options. It's not like he had a couple beers and fucked up. He was ass wasted. Wasted. There he is. Look how handsome he is, that boy.
Was I wasted?
No.
Talking about me?
I've seen you wasted.
Right? I was beyond.
Yeah,
I'm good,
how are you,
bro.
pal? That's good.
What's going on?
Yeah, not much. So I was just talking about that, and I mean, listen, you must have seen some crazy stuff in your days, but have you encountered somebody that's driven 200? Well, what is it? Because you're miles per hour, 160 miles per hour, and then on a side street, not on the highway. That's ludicrous speeds, right, dude?
That's unheard of, dude. That's unheard of. That's ludicrous. That's just head up ass, showing off, intoxicated, and your body does and think differently than a normal person, and you just take a chance, and that's what this guy did. And look what happened. Look at the outcome. Someone lost their life because of him being stupid. Yeah.
And Positive Mike here says he could have got an Uber, anything. He had so many options. Ubers, taxis. The team supplies a car 24/7 for them. So many options.
All kind of options. So many.
It's sad. I don't feel bad for him whatsoever, but it's just a really sad situation.
Yeah. It is. It is.
He pissed away an entire amazing football career.
Yes.
He's just getting started. Have you seen something to that sort of tragedy? I know you saw the video when you were backstage. That's a pretty horrific video. Have you seen
Yes.
something that bad, Reggie? Yeah.
Oh yeah. In my 28 years, bro, I've seen so many tragic accidents to where people like this football player for the Raiders who walks away and without a scratch, and the innocent victims are the ones who get killed, get decapitated. Car burns up in this scenario. I mean, yeah, I've seen it all, and it's just totally uncalled for.
Why do the drunks always survive this shit? Is it punishment that they
You know,
have to live with this
you know what? It's something that we can't answer, dude. It's something that we'll never know. We can always go what ifs and whys, but I don't know. They always prevail these traffic collisions and these fatal collisions and walk away. And the innocent individuals are the ones who suffer and lose their lives, and families are devastated and lost loved ones because someone being stupid. Yes.
Yeah. It is devastating, and there's no two ways about it. So let's get into it. So the last we talked, you had worked for part one. You worked for Bill Cosby. That was pretty wild. Yes. Part two, Bill was kind enough to send you to firefighting college. You spent approximately 10 years in the fire department.
Yes.
And then you decided, and you dropped a bomb on us. And at the end of part two, you told us the full story of how your sister was murdered at 21 years old.
Yes.
By a piece of shit that she had just met. Your mom almost had a premonition of it and said, "That's a bad man.
Yeah.
That's a bad man."
Yeah. Yes.
And so then, after 10 years in the fire department, you decide you want to be a police officer. And I know this because we've talked and stuff, and it's in my notes. But you actually had a problem, so to speak, with becoming a cop because the FBI was kind of like, maybe you just want revenge on the guy that murdered your sister and stuff. Correct?
Well, yeah, it wasn't the FBI. It was actually the Department of Justice. You know, when you get fingerprinted and your fingerprints go down to DOJ, and they do background checks on you just to make sure that you're not a felon or ex-felon or things of that nature. So when I got fingerprinted for the first time, they told me to come back in a couple of weeks. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I went back for another sit down, another fingerprint process, and I got fingerprinted again. Then of course it takes about a week or so. Get called again for the third time. So after the third time, when I got a phone call the third time, I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So what I did was I asked my background investigator. I said, hey, dude, can you explain to me why I'm getting fingerprinted 3 times and why I'm being interviewed 3 times just on latent prints? I said, I've never been in trouble. I said, yeah, I understand that I grew up in the hood, born and raised in South Central Los Angeles, been around gangs, saw a lot of stuff, but I never was involved in that. So I was told by the background investigator, and he was honest with me after the third time, that they didn't believe me, born and raised in South Central Los Angeles, and I never had any negative contact with law enforcement, never been arrested through law enforcement. And they actually thought the reason I wanted to get into law enforcement was to find the murderer who killed my sister. That was his answer to me, and I was just appalled.
I bet you were. I didn't even have to ask. I knew the answer. I was going to say, are you pissed? But so how do you respond to that?
Well, you know what? I was
almost, Reggie, or were you able to?
No, I was able to talk about it and let him know how I felt and explain to my background investigator that, it wasn't anything about them being discriminatory toward me. It had nothing to do with it. I was just kind of surprised and shocked and upset all at the same time that this guy actually thought I was trying to get into law enforcement to try to find out what this guy was. There again, I'm born and raised in South Central, so I knew a lot of people that did bad things. Saw a bunch of my friends that I tried to turn straight, not to get involved in gangs and drugs, but they had connections to where if I wanted to find somebody, I could have done that. I didn't need law enforcement to do that. So with that being said, I was like, well, is this guy going to prevent me from getting my career, reaching my goal, because he thinks that I'm trying to get into law enforcement to try to find out who killed my sister? I already knew who killed my sister. I just didn't know where the guy lived. But no, that wasn't the case at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Wow. So you finally get through all those hurdles and that bullshit, and then you head off to police academy. Walk me through police academy.
Yes.
Is it like what we see in the movies, the original police academy? Is it anything like that?
Negative, man.
Than firefighting college? Tell me about police academy in Los Angeles or in the
firefighting academy. Firefighting academy and police academy is pretty much the same type process. It's all about discipline. It's all
Regimented.
about integrity and honesty. Yes, regimented, but I mean, it's nothing, like Police Academy 1, Police Academy 2, things of that nature. It's none of that kind of stuff. But it's like a military type setting. I never been in the military, had family that been in the military, saw military movies, but it's like a military setting, and that's how law enforcement and firefighting academies are. They try to do the tradition when it comes to training their officers and their firefighters, like military style type training.
So you show up to police academy and stuff. Is this the first time you've ever had a gun in your hand? Now, I know it might be a stupid question. So he's from South Central LA. He just told you that. But listen, you were a cleaner cut fella. You didn't get into that.
I
trouble.
never ever had a gun in my hand growing up in LA. Never have. My first time ever having a gun held in my hand was when I went to academy. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
And were you good at it, or did it take some time to learn, or what?
It took some time, but by the time that I went to the police academy, my brother was already a police officer for LAPD. So once I started transitioning from being a firefighter to become a law enforcement officer, I went out with him. He took me out shooting, showed me the fundamentals of a gun, how to hold a gun, how to shoot a gun, use your dominant eye to shoot, looking at the target. So I had in-house training from my brother when I got ready to go to the academy. But prior to, man, I never, ever held a gun in my life until I went to the academy.
Jeez, wow. And so you said you've been a police officer for 28 years now. How long had your brother been in the service before you joined?
My brother was in the service about 7 years before I joined, but he did a total of 30 with LAPD.
Wow.
He's been retired now for 5 years.
Jeez, 7 years in the service before you got. So you had an understanding of how it worked, what to expect, I guess, sort of jumping from being a firefighter to a police officer. I mean, you're pretty close with your brother, yes?
Yes.
So you'd have conversations about, what goes on and stuff. So were you ever, so you get out of the academy and you start in the service now, is there a sense of fear at all? Or do you have to have a mindset where you wake up and you go, okay, I can't be afraid today. God knows what's going to happen, but let's go out there and serve and protect.
You know what, Greg? It's like this, bro. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I wasn't afraid. I wasn't scared to go to go out there in the field. When I first got my feet wet and went out and went out on patrol, yes, I was afraid. But after like maybe a week, you gotta know how to separate different things, and that's what I wanted to do. That's the goal that I wanted to reach, and I was more excited and tenacious to go out there and do what I wanted to do versus being scared. Don't get me wrong, in the back of your mind, the very first thing that you think about is you have to do what you have to do to go home at night. And I instill that into the officers that I supervise. I tell them all the time, what kills us are these things right here. Yeah. If we watch people's hands and we don't get vulnerable or get lax or get lazy, we can go home after our shift. But this is what kills us. And as long as we can watch people's hands, and when I say that, don't allow people to put their hands in their pockets. Don't allow them to, reach for stuff on the ground, or don't allow them to reach for something underneath, because it could be a gun, it could be a knife. We don't know what it is. So as long as we see their hands, we're good. And that's how I ended up just going through my career in 28 years, just using officer safety. I mean, I'm an avid person when it comes to officer safety, and I instill that into the people that I work with. This is what kills us. And as long as you see these 10 fingers on people's hands, you'll be able to go home at night. And you just got to take care of yourself and keep your head on the swivel. So I never actually was afraid to go to work. I never was actually put on that uniform. And yes, I did have butterflies the first, 7-10 days on patrol. Sure. But after that, I just, I never think about it anymore. I just go do what I do and have fun. As long as you're having fun at work, man, doing this type of job, and you don't bring it home. I mean, I can see the tragic stuff. I could be involved in stuff. I could be involved in the shootings that I was involved in. As long as you don't bring it home to your family and you leave it in the parking lot when you leave the station, bro, you're good. Mind you, you still have dreams. You still have night sweats. You still think about it at times. But as long as you don't bring it home, to your significant other or your family, and don't talk about cop stuff and just talk about just having a good time going out or just chilling in the backyard, then that kind of stuff will prevent you from getting stressed out, prevent you from thinking suicidal thoughts, prevent you from having a heart attack, prevent you from having a stroke. You just can't bring this stuff home. You got to let it go. You can't be a cop 24/7.
Is that a rule you have with your lovely wife? Like if you come home, is she allowed to ask you about your day, Reggie, or is it something that she'd rather not hear about, or how does that go?
You know what, bro? Yeah, my wife is allowed to ask me anything she pleases and wants, but I'll say that to say this. My wife's a mirror. When I have a bad day at work, she knows something happened. She knows that I was involved in something. And it's just the way that I guess I react when I come home. I'm not eager. I'm not happy. I'm not smiling. I'm not messing with her. She knows. And the first thing that my wife would say is, babe, what happened today? I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you had a bad day today. Tell me what happened. And I'm like, wow. So she can read me. But yes, every once in a while I come home and I'm cool. And sometimes things happen at work that my wife never knows about, and she never will. And I got to the point to where I'll come home and I'll play that act like nothing's going on. But in the back of my mind, bro, I'm like, man, that was a screwed up call. This guy shouldn't have done that. It's crazy, bro. And sometimes I have to talk about it because we're only human. Some stuff we just can't keep to ourselves. And I don't care what type of job it is. And this right here, to me, coming on talking to you and your fans, this is like therapy to me. Even though I've been through some of this stuff, and I've been there, done that, been in shootings, killed 2 people out of 3, bro. I'm not bragging about it, but sometimes you have to talk about it. And this kind of stuff right here is my therapy because I can get it off my chest. I can let people know how I live. I can let people know what I went through, what I've been going through. It's good therapy to talk about it. And I enjoy doing this, even though this is my 3rd time here. It's still therapy, and I feel better when I get off because I'm like, okay, now people can actually see what we do in law enforcement. I'm not sitting here to brag about what I've done or what I've seen, but I can brag about one thing, bro. I'm here to talk about it because other people put me in a position to where I had to make a decision, and I'm talking about like not even a second. I'm talking a nanosecond. I had to make a decision, and the decisions that I made, they put me in that position to do what I had to do. And today, years later, bro, I'm here talking about it, and they're 6 feet under. It is what it is, bro. And I'm not trying to be cold-hearted. I'm not trying to be, like I'm Mr. Macho guy. That's not it whatsoever. I'm very, very, very blessed to be where I am today, and to let people know my experience, and not only my experience in law enforcement, but everybody's experiences when it comes to law enforcement. I can relate when people get in shootings. I can relate when you have to kick somebody's ass and take them to jail. I can relate to going into a house and see a baby that's just in a pool. You got to take this baby out and start CPR because you treat that child just like it's your child. You treat that kid like he's your loved one. And when it's a knockout drag out fight, bro, we do what we need to do. But at the same time, when it's EOW in the watch, I try to leave it in the parking lot.
Yeah, good for you. So we got a couple things here. Our resident joker, Wade, says, "Hey Reggie, thanks for not arresting Bondzee." Yeah,
right.
Listen, I'm a good guy. We've hung out enough. I don't do anything to get arrested. Smart ass, right? Wade. And then we've got a question from my fellow co-host on the Dean Blundell show. Reggie, thanks for your candor. Was there ever a time or an incident where you seriously second-guessed continuing being a police officer, and what drove you to stick it out? Because you've been in 28 years, bro.
That's a good question, bro. I had so many, but I'm gonna give you one that still sticks in my mind. And I love this guy, dearly. And he's was my motor partner when I was working as a motor officer at San Bernardino Sheriff's Department out in Rancho Cucamonga, California. And we always worked the NASCAR race, the NASCAR, because it's a Fontana Speedway is here in California. So every year we would get assigned to work the NASCAR races and escort the drivers and their family and friends to from the hotel to the track. So this particular weekend, let me back up. The NASCAR race was started Thursday was practice, and you have Friday, pre practice, and then Saturday, Sunday was the races. So my days off was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I had to work, Thursday through Sunday overtime. And if I wanted to work overtime, I had to work on my days off. So I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this particular Wednesday, a day before the first set for NASCAR, I was at the academy teaching a couple of guys motor training. And I was there all day, and I saw our helicopter from the city flying past the academy going toward our station. And I'm like, that's odd. But I was on a different frequency because I was on the training frequency. I wasn't on a regular patrol frequency. So make a long story short, bro, I'm there and I leave because we're there all day. This happens like around 4 or 5 o'clock. I go back to the station on my motorcycle and I pull in, and then I see one of our car mechanics, and I say, "Hey, bro, why is 40 King?" That's the name of the helicopter. I'm like, why is 40 King hovering over in the city? He's like, "Oh, you didn't know?" I'm like, "No, what?" He's like, "Ronnie got hit on his motor," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Where did it happen at?" So he tells me it happens on Haven and Baseline, which is about maybe 3 miles from the station. So I hop on my bike and I haul ass over there. And by the time I got there, they already airlifted him away from the crash scene and transported him to County Hospital. He got T-boned at an intersection from a guy. Ronnie was in the left-hand turn pocket to turn left onto Haven off of Baseline. And this guy runs a red light and T-bones him and knocks him off his motor and, pretty much instantly kills him. So he still has a pulse. Medics get there. They take him to the hospital. And by the time I get on scene, I already got told that once they got him there to the hospital, he had passed away. So to answer your question, at that time, bro, I mean, first of all, he got killed on his day off because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was our day off, but we was working overtime. I mean, we was working a regular day for that weekend to be overtime. So at the time, Casey Kane was a NASCAR driver for Target. He was being sponsored by Target. So Casey Kane knew about what happened to Ronnie that got killed on his bike. So he dedicated his race that Sunday to Ron's death. So it was a big thing because all the NASCAR racers were saying it, and even announcers were saying, "Hey, how one of the Rancho Motors got killed this week, and we want to send our condolences to his family and his coworkers." So it was a big thing to us, Yeah. And at that time, man, everybody was just somber because it was 10 of us on motors, and it was like 4 guys in patrol cars that worked traffic, and then we had civilians who did traffic. So it was like a family. It's like 17 of us that worked. All we did was just do traffic collisions, traffic reports. So it was like a big family. So yes, it did. That incident made me want to just transition back to be a firefighter because I just lost it, bro. I wanted to go back and just get out of law enforcement altogether because I kept up my training as a fireman. I still was an EMT. I still kept up my firefighting training because I was like, well, maybe one day I can go and work in a helicopter as a rescue deputy with the sheriff's department because that's what they have of my training. So I said, well, one day if I get tired of being a motor, I still got my medical certifications. I'll just go up in a helicopter and be an observer and help the help in the air and do stuff. And that's why I did that. So once Ronnie got killed, I was like, man, I got to get out of this law enforcement stuff. I'm done. I'm finished. So I started. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So you do decide to stay in the police department. How long were you on in chips, so to speak?
I was a motor for a total of 14 years combined with my department now and the sheriff's department. I was a motor for the sheriff's department for about 5 years before I went back to the city that I work for right now. But yeah, I decided to go back to the department that I'm at now because I still knew the command staff there, the chief there still, he didn't want me to leave. And he always said, hey, if you ever want to come back, we got an open door for you. So when Ron got killed on his bike, I started making some phone calls. I was going to go back to the jail. Dude, I was just throwing applications out. I had made phone calls, like I said, to the fire service. And my mind was just all over the place. So after the police chief called me from the agency while I'm still employed at, said, hey, you want to come back? I said, yeah, I want to come back. I just got to get away from Rancho. And they said, okay. So they offered me to come back with open arms, man. And I've been there since.
That's awesome.
So yeah, you do get that sometime, when things like that tragically happens, your mind just starts flowing, and then you got to make a decision on if there's something. And I tried to stick it out. I tried to just stick it out, but it just wasn't the same anymore because we wrote together. We did a lot of things together, and it just wasn't the same.
That's
so
got to be tough, man, watching your partner perish like that and on a bike. And I could fully understand why you decided to get off the bike and move. So did you ever do undercover, or was it always a uniformed officer your entire 28 years?
No, when I first got on with the sheriff's department, I worked undercover because I worked in the 29 Palms, California. And it's a little small town where it's a military type community because the Marine base is in that city. Okay. So at the time, right when I got on with the sheriff's department, they asked me if I could do some undercover work with them and try to find out what Marines were selling drugs, dealing in drugs, things of that nature. So I would dress up just like I am now, and I would blend in. They give me a little bit of what we call petty cash money, and I go in the bars and hang out and drink a beer. They just make sure you don't get your ass drunk. So it was a fun detail. I did it for a few months at that station, and it was fun. I was able to help catch a couple of Marines that was doing some stupid stuff, doing robberies, doing burglaries, some Marines that was selling drugs. That was our main focus, to see what these Marines were doing. So I did that for a bit. And then after I did that, then I transferred downtown San Bernardino, and I did a lot of undercover work with stolen cars and street racers. They gave me a souped up, lowered Honda Civic stick shift.
No way.
And yeah, it was fun, bro. And all I had to do was just go to different areas of the city and pull up at a light and just rev my engine. And then if I get somebody to come side by side, we take off. Then I get on my radio, say, hey, I got this car. This is the description. And he's driving this. And once our light turns green, they'll take off. And then right down the street, we got deputies down the street just waiting for us. So we go like a block, and then they'll light us up and they pull us both over. And they'll treat me just as if they're treating him because they don't want to blow our cover. Yeah. So they'll hook me up, put me in the back of the car. They put him in the back of another car, dude. They'll take him. They'll take his car for 30 days, and I get out, and then I go back and get somebody else. So yeah, I did undercover work. It was fun. I had a good time.
I bet. Okay, so let's get into the bread and butter of this, because I've teased this a lot, and you've already mentioned it on the show. You have shot and killed, well, 2 people. You shot 3 people. You've killed 2. Walk me through the first one, and how long had you been on the force, and walk us through the entire story, if you don't mind.
My first shooting was, I was on the street for, I want to say maybe 3 years. And I was working from 2 to midnight. That was my shift, from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until midnight at night. And I had got dispatched to a domestic call. And I go there, and it's this elderly guy, and then this Indian guy who was his caretaker. And the Indian guy was at this guy's house, just on a drinking bench, drinking, not taking care of the old man's bills and cleaning the house. So the old man had a heart attack, and he was in the local hospital for about maybe 3 or 4 days. So the hospital staff and doctors got ready to release him, so they sent him home. So when they sent him home, he calls us because he wants this guy out of the house. So I go there and I talk to this guy, to the old man, the reporting party, and he gives me his side of the story. So he said, "Can you come and talk to my caretaker?" I said, "Yes." So I go in the house and I'm talking to this guy. I walk in, he's sitting in the living room, bro, and looked like this guy's been drinking for days and hours. I mean, he was just faded, but he was still coherent. So I knew I wasn't going to let him drive because he's too intoxicated. He said he had nobody to come and pick him up. So I was like, "Hey, bro, can you just go and just lay down and go to sleep? Because, the old man just got home from a heart attack. He's been at the hospital for 3 days. Just chill, just leave him alone." He said, "Okay." So he did that. So I left. So everything was fine. About 2.5, 3 weeks later, I got dispatched to this address, and I'm looking at my computer, and I'm like, man, this address sounds familiar. And the name of this person sounds familiar. I'm like, what do I know this guy from? And I'm still thinking, how do I know these players? How do I know this address is so familiar? And I pull up and I'm like, oh shit, I was just here like 3 weeks ago. So I'm already thinking in my mind, this guy's drinking. This old man doesn't want him here. Same scenario. So I go in there, and it's pretty much the same thing. So the old man, he meets me outside the gate, and he said, "Hey, man, my caretaker, caretaker is here. He's not taking care of me. I just want him out of my house. He's threatened to kill me." And I'm like, "Really?" He said, "Yes." I'm like, "Okay, where is he at?" He said, "He's sitting in the living room." So all of a sudden, things are clicking. I know who this guy is. I already know who the drunk guy is because I already had contact with him 3 weeks prior. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go in here, do the same thing that I did 3 weeks ago. Then I'm gonna be going to the next call. I get there and I'm trying to talk to this guy, dude. I'm trying to sweet talk this guy, tell him, "Hey, bro, let me take you somewhere. Just grab some clothes for the rest of the day, and I'll drop you off somewhere. Then you can come back later tonight or tomorrow to get the rest of your things." He's like, "No, F you. I'm not going anywhere." So he gets off the couch and he goes to the kitchen and he picks up a butcher knife. And I unholster my weapon. I was like, "Bro, don't do that. Put the butcher knife down. You're not at your right frame of mind. Put the butcher knife down." He's like, "Get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out of my life. This is not your house. This is the old man's house. He lives here. You take care of him, but I can see that you can't take care of him. So you need to like chill out, relax, get your stuff, and let's go." So he puts the knife down. He walks in the hallway, bro, and he opens up a closet. So when he opens up the closet door is facing me because I'm in the hallway, so I can't see inside
Can't see
the
the
closet.
10 fingers.
I can't see the fingers, bro. He comes out so quick, bro. He slams the door, then he comes around like this, and he has a shotgun. And as soon as he turns around and points the shotgun at me, I unholster and I shot him twice. I never ever, up until today, still never heard my gun go off. Never even knew I shot the guy. The only way that I knew that I shot him was I saw blood on the hardwood floors that was coming down the hallway, and I saw smoke coming from my handgun. And then I realized, oh shit, I just shot somebody. Bro, it scared the shit out of me, man. Because I know that I didn't do anything wrong. I know I didn't say anything wrong, but I was just scared because I never ever been involved in anything like that in my life. And here, my brother been a cop for 30 years, never ever been involved in a shooting. I've been with the sheriff's department 3 years and was in my first shooting. And 6 months later, from the first shooting, I had my second one. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? Yeah, it was crazy. So anyways, I shoot this guy. I get on my radio and I tell him, "Hey, officer involved shooting, roll me a back, one suspect down. Suspect tried to shoot me with a shotgun." So I'm putting all this stuff over the air. And at that time, the old man was standing out on the front porch. So when he heard the gunshots, he runs back inside. Mind you, I still don't know who else is in the house. I haven't covered the house to make sure that it was safe. I'm still pointing my gun down range at this guy. Yeah, so I tell him, "Hey, you need to go outside. Go out." So I push him outside. I close the door. So now I'm looking for a phone because all this stuff I put out on the radio, I'm not getting a response for our dispatcher at all. So I'm thinking something's wrong with my radio. So I'm looking around the living room for a telephone so I can call 911. And I can't find a fucking phone. So right now I'm panicking. And I still got this guy on the ground trying to get up. So I was able to run up to him because he still had his hand on, he didn't have his finger on the trigger, but he had his hand on the shotgun. So I stepped on the shotgun. Thankfully, the hardwood floors worked toward my advantage because I was able to step on the gun, kick his hand out of the way with my right foot, and slid the gun underneath my left foot to slide it away from him. And then I was able to back up. But mind you, he was still next to the closet. Even though the closet door was closed, I didn't know where I shot him at. I just knew that he was shot twice. So I get on the radio again, and then one of the other officers is like, "Hey, Reggie, we heard you. We're on our way. We're just keeping the radio clear for you. What else do you got?" I was like, "Road medical aid. Suspect's been shot 2 times. I don't know where at yet." But everything was on my audio. At the time, we had audios, and everything was on my audio recorder. And when I heard it, bro, it was so chilling to hear my voice and to hear what this guy was saying, how this guy wasn't going with the program. I mean, it was a righteous shoot, but it was a scary shoot at the same time because I thought I was going to get arrested. I thought I was going to go to prison because I actually shot somebody. And then, a few days later, this guy dies. And I'm like, shit, and I was just devastated. But at the same time, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, these people put us in these predicaments and we have to make a quick decision. Now, had I waited, I probably wouldn't be here today. And my main thing Greg, was I needed to know if that shotgun was locked and loaded. And homicide investigators and even the sheriff is like, you don't have to worry about that. I'm like, I know I don't have to worry about that, but I need to know for my satisfaction. I need to be at a peace of mind.
Yeah.
I just want to know if the gun was loaded or not. And they said yes, it was locked and loaded. All that guy had to do was pull the trigger.
Bro,
Crazy,
that's
bro.
shit. So a question from
Crazy.
the audience, real quick. Tony asks, does the police department offer counseling for things like that? I think they
absolutely.
do. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And,
yeah.
and
they
did
have
you
counseling.
take advantage of that? And for
I
how
did.
long, dude? Yeah.
I was off work for, I want to say maybe a month. I had sleepless nights, playing the scenario over and over again in your head.
What if I
yeah,
did this
what if
different?
this, yeah. And that's normal, but at the time that was my first shoot and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what the aftermath was going to be. But yeah, during the time that I was off, I had to go to counseling every other day. So during that month I was off, I had to go to counseling every other day. It's no, I don't want to go. It's no, you're going to go. And the department really takes care of you. Every agency takes care of their people if they get involved in a shooting. So counseling is there. It's even there for your spouse if you want your spouse to go because you're having issues at home or you're not wanting to talk about it at home or she's worried about you or whatever the case may be. So they offer counseling also to your significant other if you choose and you want that person to go with. But yeah, I had counseling. I had night sweats. I had sleepless nights. Was I afraid and fearful to go back to work? Absolutely not. I was ready to get back on the horse, dude, and do it again. But I was ready to go 100%. You can't do this type of job being 50, 60, 70%. That kind of stuff would get you hurt, to get somebody else hurt, get your partner hurt, to get you killed. When I go to work every day, bro, if I'm not 100%, Reggie's not going to work. And that's what I instill into the other people that I work with. If one of my guys or girls are sick, you just go home. You got sick leave, go home. I'll figure it out. I'll call somebody else in. I'll figure it out. I want you to be 100%. But I went back there and with no problem.
Yeah. So you to reference back to you don't bring your stuff home and stuff, and there's things you don't tell your wife, but you shot and killed somebody. Obviously, she had to know about it.
Yeah, that you talk about.
Did that affect her in any way and scare the shit out of her and say, Reggie, you fucking quit right now? Or you know?
Yeah.
I bet. I can only imagine.
And I told my wife several times, my wife already knows. If I, God forbid, if something happens to me while I'm on duty, I died happy. I died doing what I wanted to do. I lived my life. I've been through a lot of things, as you know. I'm not proud of everything I've been through because people put me in that situation, but I'm here to talk about it. But I always tell my wife, if something happens, I did what I wanted to do and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it to the fullest. So she has that mindset now, even though she still worries, even though she still knows, even though she still wants me to talk about it with her, she still has in the back of her mind. And I know she worries. I know that. I'll be a fool to sit here to say that she doesn't because I know she does.
Yeah. And you've only got less than 2 years to go, correct? In your service now, Reg?
Yeah, I want to do 2 more years, man, and call it a day and see what's next for me.
Amen. Well, listen, I know she'll worry these next 2 years, but
I know, right?
it's gonna be smooth sailing, and then you're gonna be out of there and living the high life in no time. So you go back to work, and you said you wouldn't go back if you weren't fully prepared and you were ready. So you go back in 6 months. Only 6 months. Like officers, like you said, your brother never shot anybody in 30 years. 6 months later, kill another. What?
Yeah.
So, dude, let's just walk right into it. Why not? We're already here. Holy shit.
I go to a domestic, and we get to this house, and it was a boyfriend, girlfriend. This guy had just beat up his girlfriend. I live in an apartment complex, so the neighbors between them are calling 911 and giving our dispatcher play-by-play. And we get there, knock on the door, we pull her out for her safety, and we try to talk to this guy. And we pull him outside. He's drunk off his ass. He tries to grab my gun out of my holster. So I'm trying to fight with him. So as he's grabbing my gun comes out, and I'm still trying to push him out of the way, and my gun is up. So when I push him out of the way, he grabs for it again, and I pop him, shoot him twice, and he goes down.
That is insane. That must
And
have
then
been
he tells
one of the scariest nights of your life. Like, or it all probably happened so
know,
fast,
bro.
but guy got a
Yeah,
gun
it
out of
did.
your holster, and you're sitting here wrestling him for it, and
Yeah.
dude, he could have shot
Yeah.
you just as easily as you shot
And that's
him.
what he said.
That's insane.
And that's what he said. He said, if I'd have got a hold of your gun, you would be dead right now. Crazy, bro.
Did that mess you up more than the first one?
No, that didn't mess me up because I had already been through a scenario, something that close, but no one ever was able to put their hand on my gun. But at the time that this guy did, we're pushing other family members away. We're trying to fight, and of course, while we're trying to save his girlfriend, and all of a sudden now she wants to protect him after he just kicked her ass. So now she's on my back. My partner is fighting another family member. This guy is grabbing my gun while I've got somebody on my back. So it was like a melee for a couple of seconds, man. And one thing just led to another. Yeah. Now this guy lived. He ended up living, and he ended up. I ended up shooting him in his right knee and his right hip. I think eventually he lost his leg. I think he lost his leg like a few months later. He was deported back to Mexico after he got convicted here in California because he was illegal. Then he got deported back to Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah.
So domestics are the most dangerous scenarios to walk into.
Domestic is 95% of bad juju.
When you hear
violence.
that come across the radio, do you just go, like, is it one of those feelings? And you're like,
yeah,
Lord,
you got to play them all. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So should we save the third shooting for the next time you're on, or do we want to get it and rock all three of them and get them out of the way, or what do you want to do? It's up to you.
Let's save the third shooting because the third shooting has to do when I was working overtime at the academy, the same weekend that Ronnie got killed on his bike.
Wow.
I'll explain more later.
Okay, we'll save it. All right, so let me fire through some other questions. So, and you've shot people. Now we know you shot 3 people. Have you ever been shot at, like from a distance, close range? Have you?
I got shot at. Yes, I was in a vehicle pursuit, and not too far from our city, there's a Indian reservation, and I chased a guy from our city to the entrance of the Indian reservation, and he jumps out of the car. And he starts running toward the desert where he lives on the reservation. And while we're, trying to figure out who this guy was, and because we find out that the car that he was eluding us in was stolen, we find out who the registered owner was, which wasn't nowhere where this guy led us to. And as we were trying to wait for a tow company to come pick up the car, we started hearing automatic weapons shooting our way, and literally, dude, we can hear pew pew pew. It was like, what the hell is that? Come to find out, the guys on the reservations were shooting at us, and I was like, hey, dude, forget about this car, let's just go. And we fucking left and we drove away. I was like, that car is not important for us to lose our lives.
Yeah,
let's get out of
Peace
here.
out.
So we
See
waited.
you later.
Yeah, we waited until we had some other agencies, allied agencies, to come and assist us, and then we went back. We had officers and deputies, with force, waiting for us with their guns out while we ended up dusting the car for prints and getting the car to them for a tow truck, and then we got out of there. But I had people shoot at me before.
That's crazy. So so many things. I got so many questions, and I know you've got guests coming in, and we're unlimited time here. But real quick, brass and everything supports you. The hierarchies in all these shootings and stuff. They got your back, right?
Yes.
And now you wear body cams. I've asked you this in our personal conversations, and you're all for that because it alleviates all that what or the bullshit of from brass or media. Did the media come at you in any way in these shootings and portray you as a bad cop or a shitty cop because you dusted these two?
No, because there again, back in the day when I started doing this stuff in 95, 96, we didn't have video cameras. We just had audio. So that was a big thing for some agencies, because some agencies had audio recorders and some agencies didn't. We were fortunate enough to have them. So that helped me when, every time I went to a call, I turned my audio camera on. So when I had that shooting, And then our liaison would talk to the media and let them know everything was on audio. Officer did this, officer said that. So they already have a play-by-play what transpired. So when they talk to the media, they already know what to say to the media. If the media comes and asks them, what about a camera? We don't have cameras. Or what about, audio? Did he have an audio recorder on? Yes, he did. And this is what was said. They're not going to tell them the full investigation because it's still under investigation. But they'll give them bits and pieces that, yeah, he wasn't hiding anything, meaning myself. He wasn't trying to, not have a conversation with this guy. He spoke to this guy for about 4 or 5 minutes before the shooting ever happened. So those kind of things help you, bro. So when we started getting these body cams and some of our officers started bitching about them, I'm like, dude, these cameras are going to save your ass. These cameras are going to save you from getting terminated. They're going to save you from getting fired. They're going to save you from allegations that if you stopped a female, as she said, you tried to reach under her skirt. I'm like, treat this camera as if you've been videotaped by any and everybody every day. I said, you can be across the street talking to somebody, and somebody can be on the opposite side of the street videotaping you, and you don't even know it. So look at it that way. You covering your ass, because that person across the street, they're waiting for you to do something wrong so they can put you on blast. And then now you got to end up standing, you got to be standing tall, defending yourself. Keep your recorder on.
Do you ever
it
go
helps,
back
bro. And I'm a firm believer for him.
That's and yeah, we talked about that at length, and it is a good thing, I think. Do you ever go back and listen to the old tape where you shot the first guy, Reg, just for any purposes?
Yeah,
you do, eh? Just like I don't even know. I'm trying to just why, I guess is like I know the word, but I can't put it in my mouth.
Yeah, just to see what I've been through, bro. Just to see if it's something that I missed, if it's something that he said that I didn't get, if it's something that he didn't get that I was pleading and begging for him to stop. I just do it just to reminisce, and at the same time thanking God above that I'm still here to talk about it. Yeah, and
you still lose sleep over that at all, Reg? Do you still get night terrors at all? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sometimes Zamira's waking me up, man. She's like, hey, bro. One morning, I was sleeping, and I was dreaming about one of these shootings, and I caught the guy, put him in a wrist lock, and was trying to put handcuffs on him. And it was my fucking wife, bro. I fucking put her in a fucking wrist lock. I turned her on her stomach, and I was fucking trying to handcuff her. And she hit me in the chest, say, "Hey, motherfucker! Hey,
it's me! Holy shit, that's wild." Bro. Okay, so while we're laughing,
I still have those dreams, man. I still have those dreams.
My buddy Lindley from the Sheeple Shepherd podcast, he's like, "Okay, Reggie, I promise I won't tell. You're inside LAPD for so many years. Level with us. Who did Biggie in?
Who did what?
Who did Biggie in?
Oh, I don't know, bro. I wish I knew.
Yeah,
I have no clue. Yeah, I have no clue.
All jokes, but listen, man. It must be wild out there dealing with. Now, do you deal with scumbags every day, or are there actually days where it's just kind of chill and you can just kind of roll through the day, maybe give out the odd speeding ticket or traffic ticket?
Yeah, no. Yeah. No, it's not every day, bro. It's not every day. It's few and far between, but sometimes you can go to that one call, and that one call can just take up the rest of your day. So no, it's not it's not every day at all. It's hit and miss. It depends. It depends on what knucklehead wants to get stupid with the popo that particular day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Is it a thankless job out there, and especially what happened in the past year and a half with the George Floyd stuff and everything? Have you noticed a shift or a change in people's attitudes towards police officers and yourself included? Yes.
But you know what, bro? Our department and our city, we're very fortunate to have the support from the citizens. Even though this George Floyd thing happened and these other agencies was getting flack from, their citizens and their states and things of that nature, we had people come up to me and thank us for our service, thank us for, patrolling the city that they live in and helping them out and being out there. And so we've been more fortunate. We never had anything negative. We haven't had nobody in our city picketing or defunding the police, nothing like that. We've been real fortunate. Our citizens really love our department, which is a good thing. But I've seen other agencies and other guys and girls that I know that's in law enforcement that's been getting flack left and right. Things, of course, have gotten better within the last 8, 9, 10 months, and I think they'll get even more better than what they are today. But a few months ago, man, people hated the word police. They wanted to just try to do things themselves, and they realized that they couldn't. So they knew that they can call their best friend, which is us, and we take care of business for them, good, bad, or indifferent. We're there for the people.
Yeah, good for you. Any celeb encounters? Because I know we are in a pretty fancy area, and where you are in between here and LA.
Right.
Of course, no names, but have you had some of those?
I won't give you any names, but I had.
Of course.
I stopped a couple of celebrities. I had contacts with. I'll give you one name. I had contact with Beyonce's sister at the Coachella Fest. She was running late to get on stage with Beyonce, and she had her driver drive on the wrong side of the road on the sidewalk to get her to the stage. And I was on my police bike, and I stopped him. And he's trying to tell me who was in the back, and I pretty much chewed him out and chewed her out and told them I didn't give a crap who they were. You need to get your butt back in line like everybody else. If you're late, you're late. You should be working. Should be at work at a certain time, and we're not giving you no special treatment. So yeah, I ran into a few people. Never arrested any celebrities, but I let them know just because you got money and you who you are doesn't think that you're above the law. I'm not above the law. I can't do illegal stuff. So what makes you think you're even better than me because you got money? Get yourself back in line and wait like everybody else. Your sister just going to have to perform without you for a few minutes.
Yeah. Listen, I think Beyonce is going to be okay without the sister. I don't even think I've ever heard of her. So I think Beyonce is going to be okay. Nice try.
She's going to be fine. She got Jay-Z. She's going to be fine.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So we were talking at the beginning of the show, and I'll wrap up here. We were talking about this asshole who drove 160 miles per hour in his car. What's the fastest you ever been in a police car or even on your Chips motorcycle? You've been in some crazy speed chases, right?
I've been in pursuit from Rancho Cucamonga to Pasadena on my police bike on two robbery suspects at a bank, and I rode my motorcycle. I want to say maybe 110 miles an hour, and then in a pursuit, I've driven about maybe 125, 130.
Wow,
on a straightaway. Yeah,
scary.
Yeah, it is, but there again, you can't think about that, bro, because that's when you make a mistake.
You just
got to do your thing. Yeah.
Damn. Wow. Yeah. You missed would you ever go back and ride the bike one last hurrah before you retire, Reg?
I thought about that, but I don't think so. I thought about that, bro, but I don't think so. I had my time. I've been to a lot of motor officers' funerals. Knock on wood. I've been very fortunate and lucky. Will I do it again? No. I had my fun, so I'll let these other kids have it. I'm a motor officer trainer, so I like to train and teach people how to survive. All the people that I taught that's been motor officers now and that's used to be motor officers never got injured, never got hit, never got killed on their bike. And I take that to the heart because I know that I trained them very well. And there again, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I feel happy to know that I'm part of their legacy, if you will. I trained this guy to ride.
I don't know what happened. Maybe his phone died. He's not even backstage. He's gone. Hopefully Reggie kicks back in. But we were winding up. Folks, that's Reggie. He is never disappointed. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Guy just keeps dropping bombs, wicked stories. I am so proud and happy to call him a friend. He really is a wonderful, wonderful human being. He's got a lovely wife. We didn't get along at first, but I think she's coming around. Like they're not at the trailer park anymore. They spent about 4 nights here. That's how I first met Reggie. And he has since moved on, and they go camping all over. So they haven't been back here. But he comes back and visits because his friend is here right now and still. And we got to party the other night and hang out and stuff. And I love sitting and chatting with Reggie. And anyway, he's a real treat. He's got amazing stories, and he said his wife was asking about me and making sure is he still there? Is he okay? So yeah, she's coming around on the old Bondzee. I have that thing. I wear off on the people after a while if you don't like me, which I can't understand why you just wouldn't like this. Purple shirt, nice smile, bald shiny head. All jokes aside, Reggie is a real trip, folks. And I wanted to tell you about something about Reggie, but I don't know if I'm able to drop the bomb yet or not. So I won't because I don't have his permission. But Reggie will be back on the show for part 4. We still got more police stuff to talk about. That was only kind of, well, we scratched more than the surface, let me tell you. We talked about 2 shootings, one where he killed somebody in his first 3 years of service. The other one, 6 months later, shoots a guy in the knee, and I forget the other spot. But anyways, doesn't kill him. But and I don't even know. Oh, there's he texts me. Bro, my iPad went out low. So sorry. That's okay. So it doesn't look like Reggie's coming back. His iPad just died. But that's okay. It's sad that we didn't get a proper goodbye, but I literally only had one more question, and it was basically, hey, I know you've got potentially this thing coming up that I'm going to be a part of, and I'm pretty proud of that. So we'll see, but that's up. We won't talk about it yet. Anyways, part 4 with Reggie will be the second person he shot and killed. I don't know this story actually of the second shooting. I only know those 2. So man, what a trip. Like I really could speak to Reggie all night, every night. He is just such a fun, wonderful human, as you guys see. And the comments have been great. Y'all love him too. And I can't thank Reggie enough for taking the time to join us tonight whilst he camps out on the road with his lovely wife and his son there in the background. So it's what a treat. I can't wait to have him back on, and I can't wait to break the news as soon as I get Reggie's. Oh, let me text and ask him. He's right here. Can I drop the big news? Because Reggie's got big news. About. Okay. I asked him. So we'll see. Okay. Folks, I hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I enjoyed talking to Reggie. I think he did. Positive Mike. Yeah, here's the reason he left. He must have caught a wind of the skullet. Now, Reggie was around when I first met Reggie. I did have the skullet, but see, nobody ever saw Bondzee without a hat on, so nobody knew that I had this sexy skullet going on. It's probably the opposite of what it really was. It's disgusting, and I hate that picture so much. Like, dude, please take it down. I know you get such a kick out of it, but I just want to throw up every time I see that. And it's not like, well, why didn't you cut your shave your hair so much longer ago? Because I always wore a hat. That's why. I just wore a hat. So fucking weddings to go to. There's no nothing. You couldn't even go anywhere. Stupid COVID. So I just wore a hat. Let my hair grow. All right, let's show a couple of videos before I get the hell out of here. It's been an hour and 8 minutes. Maybe we should save them and just build up. Glassy, what do you think?
Do whatever you want, buddy. You do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know what? I think I'm done. It's been an hour and 8 minutes. It's Friday night. We've kept people long enough. It's a busy day. I'm exhausted from all my talking on the Dean Blundell show today with those nurses.
You went 55 minutes without saying a word.
I think it's a record. No, I don't think.
There's
I know it is.
The whole podcast.
And Wade said it best. He's like, Bondzee, sweet eye candy today, bro. And listen, sometimes that's what I'm there for. The girls love the new hair and the look now and stuff. And yeah, sometimes I just don't have stuff to bring. And I did have a couple of questions for the lovely girls.
What would you have asked?
But when you do a podcast with Lachlan Cross, who doesn't shut the fuck up, Dean's pretty good at talking himself. It's his show. And so that's obvio. And then Mr. Lindley's not shy for words either, and he's way smarter than me. So I just sat back and watched.
I forgot about this. There he is.
Oh,
Where's he
tonight? Our
tonight?
boy Lindley.
Lindley, you baked somewhere? Come on.
He's been watching the show and commenting all night.
Let's plug him there. There you go.
I haven't heard from Reggie. There he is. Sheeple Shepherd podcast with Ryan and his lovely wife, Ashley Lindley. Folks, you got to go check this podcast out. They debunk shit. They make fun of people who buy dirt. You think I'm joking about this? They make fun of people, and they kind of Ashley, I think, even went underground and bought dirt and pretended she was one of these weirdos that buys dirt and eats it. Dirt, and I mean, like, this guy just sells dirt from his backyard.
Though. It's so brilliant, man. It's so brilliant.
Check out Sheeple Shepherd podcast on the Dean Blundell Network.
Yep.
There's so many other great podcasts on there as well. I highly recommend you check them all out, including mine. Go back and watch whatever you want. And all my appearances on Dean are never without fun times. Skip the first 55 minutes today if you want to hear Bondzee and be funny on Dean Blundell's show, because it was after that. but it was still fun. I'm always happy to be on there. There's my 3 nuts. I say I really don't think we should show it on the show anymore. I think it's enough. Dean beats the hell out of it.
Yeah.
My balls have been shown more in the past week than they ever have been. But listen, I don't care. I'm not afraid. It's all good.
That's what makes you you, Bondzee. That's why everybody tunes in to see the yard sale that is you. And we love you for it. We love
Thank
you
you,
for
pal.
it.
Well,
Yeah,
I
buddy.
love you. And I love our new sponsor, Positive Mike's Brewing. Folks, if you are in the
Yes.
Alberta region, got to go check out Positive Mike's Brewing. He's got I think there's like 15 or so beers that he's got going on.
Yes. His wife,
it's-
Kel, sent me some photos here. There you go. So you got Swamp Donkey.
I
You got
love it.
TKO'd. Jalapeno wheat.
Jalapeno wheat. That would be my number one go-to right there. I already know it.
Half in the tea bag. One Wit Wonder. I guess that's what Lindley drinks. Maybe that's why he was one way the other night. Cherry Your Head in the Sand and Bahan Flying Fish Rum Lager. Ooh, that can't be bad. But yeah, they got him and his wife Kel. They got merch for sale. Support them. Go to Positive Mike's on Twitter. Find them. They will ship it all. Great people. Thanks, guys, for joining the show. You rock.
Yeah, definitely. Happy to have them on as a sponsor. You guys are amazing. Check them out. Go grab a T-shirt. $5 goes to the Prostate Cancer Foundation and the cause that is Movember. And I'm pretty sure they can ship you beer wherever you are. And we'll confirm that soon. But can definitely get a T-shirt. And I thank them again for joining
Right down below, right there.
as a sponsor for the Bondzee. Oh, there it is. Positive Mike's at Positive Mike's on Twitter. Go check them out. And if you want something, just ask, and they'll accommodate you the best they can. All right, that's it. That's all. I cannot thank Reggie enough again for joining us. What a super, super guy. He really is a treat, and I can't wait for part 4 to hear how he dusted his second. I don't like to call it a victim. We call it a perp.
That was wild, man.
A bad dude who it was either Reggie's life or the perp's life. So guess what? It all works out in the end. Adios, bad guy. You guys have been a great
weekend, folks.
Yeah, you too. You're the best. I wish you all an amazing weekend. Love yourself. Love one another. Start hugging people. Can we hug people again? Is that a thing? After this COVID and vaccines and all that shit? Just fucking hug somebody. Give them a nux if you can. You know, you got to start like just getting back on track here. Enough of this COVID bullshit. Part 4, Reggie buys a charger. I love it. Well, it's Bondzee live on Tripping with Bondzee on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network. Highly encourage you to go check that network out. Tons of entertainment value on there, from music stuff to so many different blogs, so many different podcasts. Just so many great stuff, so many great things. Just like me, great thing. I love you, Bondzee. See, I don't say that very much. Yeah. And that guy's fired. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Peace and love. It's Bondzee live on Tripping with Bondzee on the Dean Blundell Network. Bye.
Bondzee live. Tripping with Bondzee on YouTube.